Hi, my name is Shell. Thank you for coming to check out this flow. If you enjoy it, I have a website with lots of flows just like this one. We also have meditations, workshops, guest instructors, lots of things yoga. So come check us out if you have a good time today. Hey guys, welcome back to day 5 of our 5-day Yoga Bum challenge. I'm so proud of you for making it this far. I hope you've enjoyed these past few days that we've spent together. Today's flow is going to be a deep stretch, hip focused day. And we're going to get started at the top of your mat in a Malasana squat. So go ahead and make your way there. Remember, you want your feet pointed outward at 45-degree angles. If you like to have a towel or something to support your heels, go ahead and grab that. Another great option is to grab a block or a cushion to put under your hips to sit on. So go ahead and grab what you need, make yourself comfortable, work your way into this posture. It's early, but try to think about finding that tall spine with your tailbone pointed down and the crown of your head pulling upward. Close down your eyes here. Find that slight tuck in your chin. Starting to take the air in and out through your nose as you center yourself. Bringing your attention completely to the present moment and your body and your breath. Letting go of any expectations that you might have for yourself. And being open to whatever the next 30 minutes will bring. Blink your eyes open here and we'll start to move. We're going to warm up by moving between this squat and a forward fold by pivoting your heels out and hanging really heavy. If your hamstrings are feeling tighter today, spend more time in the forward fold. If your hips are feeling tighter, maybe consider spending more time in the squat. Just listening to your body moving for this first minute or so. You might take a twist in either place. Maybe pull your nose towards one shin and then the other in the forward fold. Starting to finish up here. And we're actually going to be lying on your back. So whenever you're done, go ahead and make your way there. Feet planted, knees pointed up. Go ahead and lift your hips. Finding that really strong breath in and out through your nose. Maybe bring a smile to your lips for one more breath. And then as you lower down, cross your right ankle over your left knee. And then either keep that left foot planted or you can pull it in towards your chest and get a little bit deeper into that outer right hip. You can take some circles through that left ankle. And then go ahead and release. Bring your right foot back down to the mat. Lift your hips back up. Maybe interlace your fingers behind your back this time, pressing your pinkies and your shoulders into the ground to lift a little bit higher. One more breath here. Press those hips up. And then as you exhale, left ankle over your right knee, either keeping that right foot down or wrapping your hands around your right shin and pulling it in towards your chest. Again, maybe some ankle circles through that right foot. And then go ahead and release. We are going to take one more back bend. Lift your hips to their highest point yet. Maybe bring your hands to your low back. Another great variation here. And then go ahead and lower down. We're going to counter this either just by extending your legs up towards the ceiling, or you can turn this into a plow pose and take your feet behind your head. Knees can be bent or straight. We're just countering that back bend by letting our spine round the opposite direction. Same idea as a cat-cow. So nice. Go ahead and slowly lower one vertebrae at a time. And then we're going to rock up to a butterfly. Move your legs up and down. Either stay upright or maybe you feel ready to fold forward. Go ahead and rise back up. Bring your knees together. Plant your hands. Make your way to a forward fold. Put a bend in your right knee and then walk your hands over to the right. Let your head and neck hang heavy. Try and keep your hips square. So left leg is straight, right knee is bent. And you're crawling your hands over to the right, finding length through your left side body and some extra stretch in the back of that left leg. Come through center over to the other side. Right leg is straight, left is bent. Come back to center, arms come out to a T. Rise up with a flat back, arms and gaze reach overhead. Exhale, arms to your side, Samastitihi. Inhale, arms and gaze lift. We're moving through our first vinyasa, dive forward. Look out with a flat back. Plant your hands. Move through that chaturanga push-up, squeeze your elbows in. Upward facing dog. Exhale, back to your first down dog. Pedal through your feet, lift one leg and then the other, whatever you need to do here to work your way into that upside down V. Shift your weight forward, start to bend your knees, hovering your knees 1 or 2 inches off the ground, and then release down a tabletop. From this tabletop, extend your right leg behind you, flex your toes towards the ground, reach forward with your left arm, and then float your left arm out to the left, your right leg out to the right, lifting, trying to keep your leg and arm level with your body. And then release your right heel down to the ground, rise up on your left knee. Arms come out to a T. Drop your right hand down to your right shin, reach over with your left arm, finding a side stretch. Up through center, over to the other side, drop your left hand, reaching with your right arm. Rise back up to center. Now from here, we're going to sit back into a gated child's pose to stretch through our inner hips. And what that's going to look like is you're going to sit your hips back inside your left heel, keeping that right leg extended and those toes flexed up towards the ceiling. And then you'll release your torso inside of your left thigh, like a half child's pose. If you would rather take this to more of a hamstring stretch, you can fold over that right leg instead. Totally up to you. Start to walk your hands in, lift back up onto your left knee, extend your right leg behind you, and we are going to move to a pigeon pose from here. So step that right foot over to the left side of your mat, sit back, square off your hips. Your left foot is going to be at a smaller angle with that foot closer to your hips, and then you can either stay upright or you can fold forward over that left leg. One more breath. And then a funky transition here. Walk your hands in, step your right foot to the outside of your left knee, reach your left arm overhead, hook that left elbow on the outside of your right knee, and twist to look over your right shoulder, just a seated twist. Take a counter twist to the left. And then you're going to plant your feet. Keep twisting to the left. You'll end up in a medium wide forward fold facing the back of your mat. And then you'll just step it back to a downward facing dog facing the back of your mat. Take your gaze above your knees, settle in here. If I lost you in that transition, just find the downward facing dog facing the back of your mat. Shift your weight forward, start to bend your knees until you're hovering an inch or two off the mat for just a breath. And then release tabletop position. This time, reaching back with your left leg, flex those toes towards the ground, forward with your right fingertips. Taking the arm and leg out to the side, lift it, engage your core. Lower that left heel down, rise up high on your right knee. Arms out to a T, side stretch, drop your left hand to your left calf, reach over with your right fingertips. Up through center, over to the other side. Back through center, finding a gated child's pose here. Sitting your hips back inside of your right heel this time. Letting your chest melt forward. Finding your breath here. Start to walk your hands back in, lifting back onto your right knee. Extend your left leg behind you. This time, left foot to the right side of your mat. Sit your hips back, finding a pigeon. Again, with that right foot a little bit closer to your hips. Melting forward here, sending your breath to your outer right hip. One more breath, sink a little bit deeper. And then start to walk your hands in, sit onto your right hip, step your left foot to the outside of your right knee, reach up with your right hand, hook your elbow on the outside of your left knee, and you're twisting to look over your left shoulder. Take a counter twist over to the right. And then you will keep spinning. Lift your hips, a medium wide forward fold facing the top of your mat. And then step it back, a downward facing dog. Lift your right leg behind you, a 3-leg down dog. And then step that foot up between your hands. Rise up really strong, a high lunge. Really pushing your hips forward, deepen that right knee. Lower onto your left knee, a low lunge. Pressing your hips forward and down. Now from here, we're moving to Skandasana, and we have not been here this week. What that's going to look like is you're going to pivot to face the left side of your mat. Make the bend in your right knee even deeper. It's a deep side lunge. Left toes are flexed up. Left quad is engaged. It's okay if your right heel is off the ground, but if it's hard to get it to the ground and you want to slide something under there, that's a great option. Hands can be on the ground or heart center. Now from here, really strong, press into your right foot, come to a standing position. Point your toes in slightly. Interlace fingers behind your back. Pull your knuckles down, open your chest, and then fold forward, letting gravity pull your hands towards the ground, opening up your shoulders, Prasarita. Sometimes it feels really good here to sway from side to side, or maybe a little bounce up and down to open up your shoulders. The more you press the palms of your hands together, the more intense this will be as well. Go ahead and release your hands, bring your hands to your hips, and then slowly rise up with a flat back. And then make your way back to a downward facing dog. Frame your right hand or your right foot with your hands. Step it back, a down dog. From here, lift your left leg, a 3-leg down dog. Step that foot forward, rise up really strong, a high lunge. Pressing forward on your right toes to make that bend in your left knee deeper. Lower your right knee down, a low lunge. Opening up through that right hip flexor now. Lots of breath, lots of releasing. I told you today was going to be a deep stretch, hip focused day. I'm going to deliver. Now we're moving to that deep side lunge from here. Skandasana. Twisting to face the right side of your mat now. Really deep bend in that left knee. Right leg engaged. Hands to heart center or to the mat. Or if you want a little challenge, you can see if you can connect your hands behind that left leg. Lots of options. We're moving toward that wide leg forward fold, Prasarita. Press into that left foot. Come to a standing position. Point your toes in just a little bit. That'll help you balance. And then option to interlace fingers behind your back again. Or you can take peace fingers to your big toes and use that grip to pull the crown of your head closer to the ground. Go ahead and release your hands, whatever they're doing. Bring your hands to your hips, rising up with a flat back. Turn back to face the top of your mat, framing your left foot with your hands. Step it back, a downward facing dog, and then go ahead and drop down onto your knees, child's pose. Take your knees out nice and wide, maybe even off your mat. Melting your heart down towards the ground. Crawl your fingers out just another inch, lifting your hips and then pulling your hips back, finding a little more length in your spine. So nice. Tuck your toes, lift your hips back to that down dog. Lift up onto your tippy toes and walk your feet back up to your hands. Look out with a flat spine and then fold over your legs. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, arms to your side, Samastitihi. Inhale, arms and gaze lift. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, look out with a flat spine. If you want to skip the push-up and just move to a downward facing dog, go for it. We'll meet in a down dog. Once you're in the down dog, right leg lifts. Step that foot up. Windmill your arms open. Warrior two. Inhale here. On your exhale, drop your left hand. Reach back with your right. Reverse your warrior. As you rise up, both hands come inside your right foot. Rock forward and back. And then drop down onto your left knee. Let your right leg fall open to the side. Start to walk your hands back in, tuck your left toes, step that right foot back, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg, step your foot up, windmill your arms open, warrior two. Big inhale here. On your exhale, drop your right hand, reach back with your left, reverse your warrior. And then rise up. Hands plant inside your left foot. Give it a little rock forward and back. And then let that left leg fall open. Drop down onto your right knee, a lizard. Finding stillness here, stillness in the discomfort. Start to walk your hands back in, tuck your right toes, step your left foot back, a downward facing dog. Bend your knees, step or jump up to the top of your mat. Look out and fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, make your way back to Baddha Konasana or seated butterfly. Soles of your feet together. And then fold forward, leading with your chest. One more inhale, sink a little deeper. Go ahead and rise up. We're moving to pigeon on the left. Keep your left leg more or less where it is. Swing your right leg long behind you, square off your hips. Probably with a bigger angle in that left leg than you had the first time we were in pigeon a few minutes ago. Fold forward over your left leg. Maybe stack your hands, make a little pillow. Start to walk your hands back in, rise up, keep your left leg where it is, slide your right knee up to meet your left foot. You're in this hurdler's position with your right foot right next to your right hip, kind of like where it was in the gated child's pose. Now, from here, you're going to start to recline until you feel a nice stretch in your quad. You might end up laying all the way down onto your back. And if you can lay all the way onto your back comfortably, try planting your left foot into the ground and pressing your low back into the mat. That'll make it even more intense. Start to rise back up from wherever you are. Untuck that right leg, and we're going to move over to pigeon on the right. Extend your left leg long behind you, square off your hips, and fold forward. Lots of breath, lots of surrendering. Use those exhales. Start to walk your hands in, lift your torso, sliding your left knee up to meet your right foot. Now to that hurdler stretch on this side. Walking your hands back, reclining onto your forearms, maybe all the way down onto your back. Same options as before. Start to rise back up. Untuck that left leg and then recline all the way down onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Give it a little rock from side to side. We're going to start winding things down here. We've already started to wind things down here, but keep a hold of that right leg. Extend your left leg long in front of you. Take your peace fingers, your right peace fingers around your right big toe, and extend that right leg towards the ceiling. It's okay if it's bent. Bent is great. Looking for a stretch in the back of that right leg. Now bring your left hand to your left hip. Again, a bent right leg is totally fine. Try to keep that left hip on the ground and let your right leg fall open to the right. Bent or straight, just keep that left hip on the ground. Go ahead and bring that leg back to center. Pull both knees into your chest. This time, keep a hold of your left leg, left peace fingers to your left big toe, and extend that leg up towards the ceiling. Again, leg does not need to be straight. Bring your right hand to your right hip and then start to let the left leg fall open to the side, keeping your right hip grounded. Bring that leg back up to center. Hug both knees in. Find a rock from side to side. Close down your eyes and then extend your legs long. Arms at your side, palms face up. Letting your breathing slow and return to a natural cadence. Imagine for a moment that you're floating in a pond of water. Any movement you make will cause a ripple. Picture the support from the water. Imagine how buoyant you feel. Let every muscle in your body completely relax, taking your mind to a quiet place of meditation, Savasana. Start to reawaken and gently becoming aware of your surroundings again. Finding some small movement in your hands and in your feet. Finding some bigger movements. Let your head rock from side to side. Maybe plant your feet and let your knees rock from side to side. And then choose a side. Go ahead and roll over in the fetal position. Resting your ear on your arm. And then as you're ready, press yourself up to a seat. Bring your hands to heart center. Blink your eyes open. Thank you so much for joining me for this flow. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed these last 5 days and you would like to continue flowing with me, continue your yoga practice, there will be a link under this video for Flow 365. You'll get your first 30 days free, and I hope to see you over there. Namaste.